Havana Syndrome. You've probably heard about it. What is little explained, but the idea is that some shady organization or governments or military or rogue operators or terrorists are targeting American diplomats and soldiers abroad with something. We don't know what, a microwave weapon, Jewish space lasers, I don't know, but something that leaves enough room for you to fill with your imagination, except that it turns out that, as many people suspected, there's not a lot of evidence for this, it turns out. So the CIA has looked into this and has found that most cases of the mysterious ailments, known collectively as Havana Syndrome, are unlikely to have been caused by Russia or another foreign adversary, a conclusion that has angered victims of it. And we will return to their continued concerns. In about 24 cases, the agency, the CIA, cannot rule out foreign involvement. Sure, they can't rule out gremlins in the trees. You can't rule out anything that you haven't proven or found evidence for. Anyway, they're being stalked in the night by witches. Anyway, but in hundreds of other cases of possible symptoms, the agency has found plausible alternate explanations. So a directed energy weapon remains the hypothesis that a number of victims who have studied the incidents believe is most likely. Some of these current or retired officials believe government investigators have dismissed evidence they have collected strange sounds or electromagnetic readings. Late last year, officials said the CIA had been unable to find any evidence that a directed energy weapon was responsible, neither intercepting communications from a foreign government that suggested the use of such a device or readings showing the presence of microwaves at the location of an incident. But some victims, as well as others, believe that it's still the most likely explanation. So Brett, thoughts?
When you read the symptoms of Havana Syndrome, it is frequently that people were traveling and they had tummy troubles. So like, oh, I can't believe this person went to Vietnam and had diarrhea. Like, oh, this person was in Mexico and had diarrhea. This person traveled in a plane for 40 hours and has a headache. It's like, yeah, that's what happens when you go to a place with generally a different biome, for lack of a better word. You get icky in the tummy. You're drinking water, you're eating food that you're not used to. It all sounds like they're travelers traveling. And it's so crazy when you think what Jon Stewart had to do to get payments for the medical consequences experienced by first responders who showed up to dig through the rubble of 9/11, how he had to pull teeth and strain for that kind of funding. And these folks are like, Havana Syndrome, give it some cash. You've got to be kidding me. It's such a weird CIA bias. Like as if the CIA doesn't swim in funding as it is.
Yeah, and look, a predisposition to believe whatever claim that someone vaguely tied to the military or foreign policy believes is consistent with US policy, but they really did buy into it. As many people have pointed out, Congress actually passed a law to compensate, and as Brett was alluding to compensate victims of Havana Syndrome, and giving the government until April to devise a payment plan. Ken Klippenstein actually had a great tweet sort of comparing the fact that they readily passed that, but also readily dropped paid family leave, medical leave from the safety net bill. So let's not gloss over this. The Senate passed something that is crazy that it happened at all, which means what is bipartisan in America is keeping wages low, lowering taxes, and giving money that supports the idea that America and its agents are being targeted by a bunch of shady governments abroad. And look, I don't rule out the possibility that there's something. Anything is possible. Microwave weapons or sonic weapons or whatever are possible, but you have to have evidence of it. And this is something that is supposedly happening all over the globe as people go abroad. So what is the link there? I don't know. Like it would be an amazing story. I would be fascinated to see the evidence for it, but it doesn't seem to be there, and it is suspicious how readily many in government and media have been to accept basically evidence-free claims in this area.
It's insane. All the thing. I mean, there's another similar story I think they covered on Indisputable if you didn't, but it was like there's someone in Wisconsin trying to pass a law so that you get reimbursed if you are wrongfully prosecuted for self-defense. All the different stuff that they could put money for. Guy wants to call it the Kyle Law for Kyle Rittenhouse. And like, it's a state legislator throwing stuff at this, but all the things that they're, we need more evidence of whether voting is being suppressed in various states since time immemorial. We need more evidence for that. But the Senate's like, Havana Syndrome, just give me a payment structure, just bill me. Havana Syndrome. How's it? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want microwave technology. I like Dr. Krieger and Archer have advocated for the brown note just as something fun to shoot at people. But I think if we're going to solve any microwave weapon, we need to have, we need to target more the frozen burritos at 7-Eleven that do quite a number on me. And I need them to be that delicious, but leave my colon intact.
And as you said before, dealing with that maybe actually solves this problem internationally. Who knows? There's a lot of potential explanations. The whole thing is just disgusting. And yeah, it's money flies out the door for some things, and then they are so tight-fisted for others.
And what's funny to me is the way that the right wing would look at something like this, and they're like, not today. But any similar thing would be like, look at this. The Democrats are going to vote en masse to throw more funding at the CIA. Like this weird Josh Hawley flavor of conservative right now that somehow is outflanking the left on things like that. Just saying, no, they're going to throw more money at the FBI and the CIA, or the CIA, which goes and just gets us into forever wars we can't pay for, that go on forever and don't make us any safer. Get the hell out of there. They just haven't decided to use that tactic on this kind of thing, and it's wide open for everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Look, they're saying this is not definitive. They're going to keep looking into it, and I have no doubt that they will. So we'll see what, if anything, comes of this.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.